but they've been bruised somewhere and they're stuck. They're experiencing arrested development because there's somewhere God wants to take them, but they're still entertaining those traumas and still going. This book right now, I've been having a back and forth with how do you say her name? Obasi, Nika. I think that's how you say her name, Nika Obasi. She is the community liaison for the mayor's office in Chicago, and having conversation with her because I believe also this book will help to end recidivism by putting this book as a re-entry program curriculum and putting it in place for that, so that 6 months before the person is going to be released, they have a curriculum that's based on this book, because that is something that will be very powerful for our those that are incarcerated, the men and women incarcerated. The thing that's going to bless them is when they're able to really take a serious look inside, a serious look, because what really was a turning point for me that later brought the book was earlier in that year, 2013. I'm sitting at a table at a restaurant. Good friend of mine, Dr. Gerard McClendon, set up this breakfast. Bishop Gerard. So he set up this meeting. It was the second time. First, I met with this person for a lunch, and then after that, Dr. McClendon set it up so that I would come back and meet him, this guy, for breakfast. This guy is the person that wrote the Grammy Award winning song Jesus Walks. His name is Rhymefest. He just got elected to the Chicago School Board in Chicago. So we're sitting at this table, 2013. We're sitting at this table, and I mean, life had flipped on me. My life was turned upside down, and every place that I had been and everything that I had done, now I had been disarmed. And I was in a state of rebellion. I was in a state of anger. All kinds of things. Get the book, you'll get the rest of it. Yeah. But he listened to my story. I was talking about all the things I was describing to him was what I was saying was done to me. And so I'm going through the list. I'm saying this happened and that happened and they did this and this person did that. And he sat there and he just had a calm smile on his face and just a real gentle smile, like, I hear you. I hear you. And then after I took a pause, he needed me to take, you see how I talk. So he needed me to, he said, when he finally gets to take a breath, let me throw this in. But he saw that I paused. And when I paused, just a loving, he reached the soul of me when he just looked at me. But he looked at me and he said, I hear you. He said, but let me ask you, what was your part? When he said that, Sister Eve, I went physically, I went numb. And it's like I was in suspended animation. And it's like no one had asked me my part because things were so bad. Things were really bad, which, they'll find out in the book. But things were just, you read this, it's like you're reading the story of Job, and this is what was happening. And there's still some things I didn't even put in the book. But when he asked me that, it made me take inventory. Later in that year, some things I was still going through, it made me write the book. And since then, it's proven its worth to be a blessing to other people, to have that same moment like I had sitting down in that restaurant with that he's the ghostwriter is what they call people that do that people are reading it and they're coming to the realization of, wow, I'm reading this, and reading this is helping me connect with something that I might have done, because everybody's not the person that things happen to. Somebody is the person that did it. And that's what we have to address. We need to address that in our society, in the world. that everybody can't be the victim. Oh, you're hanging out with the wrong crowd. No, sometimes you are the wrong person that people shouldn't be hanging around with.
Yeah.
But that's where we go to transparency. This is life-changing. If you have not gotten the paperback, the ebook, please get that, because the audiobook while you're driving, while you're doing laundry, while you're whatever, or maybe you have the paperback and you listen to that. And by the way, the person that did the narration, I didn't know this. So I was on the site looking for talent, is what they call it, the talent. The people you want, because I didn't want to read it myself, because I'm following biblical principles. If I testify myself, my testimony is false. Prophet is not without honor except for in his own circle. So I'm just following, okay, Lord, you say that don't work. So let me not put my voice on there, even though I love to talk. But in any case, with that, I get this guy, his name is C.S. Treadway. And so he does recording, he uploads it. They're going through their quality assurance and all that. So I said, let me look this guy up on social media. So I go looking up and I find him, and I've talked to him on the phone, before we got the production going. And I find him on social media. This guy is a news anchor on TV in New York. So the station's called Pix 11. And he's been there for, I think, like 30 years or something. And so I'm like, look at God. That I could have picked anybody. But as soon as I heard his voice, something resonated inside me. I said, this is the guy. And more than that, God said, this is the guy.
This is it.
And so we connected it, and he did just a completely amazing job in the narration of the book.